Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial video. This is what this is going to be. I just decided. I wasn't actually too sure what this was going to be going into it, but now I've decided. And you can probably read the title on what it's going to be about. So this is going to be about how to model a low poly wheel. So a low poly wheel, sorry, like an alloy wheel. So the first thing that you're going to need is a picture of the alloy wheel that you would like to model. So let's say we're gonna go for work equip 01. Let's say maybe you want these. Just, any wheel will work with this tutorial, but I want to do something a bit different. Maybe something a bit easier, since this is like gonna be a beginner tutorial. And what we could do is these. These incorporate a lot of shapes that you can use and learn from and do a bunch of good stuff. So this is us going to find the wheel. This is an application called PureRef, just spelled how it's spelled there. It's free if you just put $0 in for the donation, and then if you want you can donate and you still get the product. So you're just going to want to copy some images, paste them into here, and this just, if you do Shift Control A, it'll make always on top enable or disable. So if I click onto Blender here, it doesn't move away from being on top of the screen, I guess. So I'm just going to get some wheels from different angles, like this. And I'm actually going to save this image into car parts because I'm gonna put it into Blender so we have a reference for the wheel. That should be all we need. Right, now you're gonna open Blender, delete the default cube, then you're gonna make sure your 3D cursor is centered. These lights and cameras don't really matter right now. Shift A, then go down to image. I like to use reference images because they stay when you change around the perspective of the image, like change of view. So they're pretty helpful like that. Then you just want to go, it's not there, it's in here. It depends where you've saved it. For me it was in here. This was for when I was doing all my photoshopping, which is interesting. Okay, here's the image. There you can see you've got the image set up. You can see it's not exactly centered because the 3D cursor's not in the middle of the picture, but you can just move it around till it looks about right. Then shift F3, sorry, set origin to 3D cursor, which it didn't do because it's a picture, I think, and the origin can't really change. In fact, can we just set that back? Maybe it is in the center, it just doesn't. I really should mute YouTube notifications, but that's fine. So now you've got this set up, you're going to want to look at how many spokes you've got for the car. For the wheel. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spokes, and that's in a set of, that's not, yes it is 12. 12 spokes in a set of like 6 kind of areas, I guess. So now you've got the wheel set up. You can, my god, why is this not working? There we go. Shift A, mesh, circle, and then it's going to be low poly, so you've kind of got to calculate. So 6 times 6 is like, what, 36? Do 36, and you're doing 6 because there's 6 spaces and there's 6 spokes, and that's just how you calculate it. Scale it up to be just the outside of the wheel, the alloy, sorry. tab into edit mode, then you're going to want to select the center vertex for here, and then the center vertex for here, and then there is a way that you can like inverse select somehow, but I have forgotten it. So what you can do, I'm just going to select the outer ones like this, delete vertices. So now you've only got these vertices here. Make sure your 3D cursor is in the center, or more or less the center of the picture. Go to this little icon up here, which looks like two circles or whatever you had it on last. Click 3D cursor. This is going to mean when you scale it down, it's going to scale it to the 3D cursor and not just like randomly when you move it. Select these vertices, extrude, scale. So this is going to be me creating the lips of the wheel. Alloy, sorry. Scale, it's just a lot of... Let me just close that. Oh my god. Nice. Wait, manage notifications. This is a detour. No, don't have them. Now we're back into Blender. And because, there we go. E, scale, down. Now, what you want to do is you want to click Shift D, scale it down to this circle here. And then extrude scale away from the center. Now you see you got your two, let's just make that a little bit more close to the edge here. You got your two spokes, which generously match up with these, so you can extrude that, scale, turn the 3D cursor off and make it medium point, scale it down to sort of match that, and then do the same with this one. Because it's low poly, it sounds like an excuse, but because it's low poly, you don't always need these curves, but if you want to make them, you can. And then if we just tab out, it's looking a bit flat, so the way we're going to fix that is we're going to grab these faces, and because we've got this picture here of the wheel, the alloy like out, I guess it can be called, we can just extrude them to more or less match what they should be. So you've got this outer lip, and you've got this which can come up, and then it's kind of just flat until you get to, we can make this a bit lower, move the image down, there you go. So now you've got these spokes matched up with this here, go like this. So 7, I'm just using the numpad to get to the different views. You can now go ahead, and if you want, you can line up, you can add a loop cut in between here, line them, loop cut, which is Control R, and then you can line them up to just give a little bit of a curve like this. Now you can add a mirror modifier, which will mirror it across, obviously, and that looks alright. Then you can select this outer edge, extrude it on the Z axis, which is gonna give you kind of the bowl, I guess it's called. I'm not really too sure. Just extrude it a little bit. Then you can see that the spokes also have a kind of extrude down and then out. So a way that you can, we're just gonna line up these a little bit better. I know it's low poly, but you still want it to be quite accurate to the real thing. But you don't want to move these outer ones from being straight to each other. Alright, it's looking quite good, I would say. Like, you want to keep the outer ones, so you want to keep these ones and these ones here. You want to keep them at certain angles so that they all line up when you go to, you know, make them again. To get this curve here, you're just going to want to put a loop cut here, like this, out, and then maneuver that, and then maneuver that. And you can see you've kind of got them matching up now. And then, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. You can actually merge these two with M and then do it last, and then add a loop cut here. In fact, we'll just keep that in the center so that it's easier for the other side. These are actually basically already done, so we're going to want to merge that first. Don't save, it's fine. Then loop cut in the center of this one with Control R. It's quite a bit off, but that's fine. And then merge it last. So then you've got this alloy wheel thing. Now you want to click 7. This is where it can get a little bit tricky. So you want to click Control A, apply location, apply the mirror modifier. Control A, apply location, rotation, and scale. So that's going to set that there. Shift A, then go empty. It doesn't matter which one you pick here, but I always like to pick plain axes. Then click the alloy again. Don't apply the mirror modifier, sorry. You just Control Z to undo that. Then you apply all the object transforms. Shift A, plain axes. Then click your alloy again. Click array. See here, this is what you don't want, because then you can also just go ahead and click object offset, which is, that's what you want it to look like when you've clicked it. Click empty 001. So if we're doing that, you're going to want 3 copies. Just up that in the array modifier. Then select your empty, rotate on the X, on the Y, sorry, no, Z, yes, on the Z axis, like so. Then you've got the basic alloy. It's how it should be. Now, this is the best alloy I've ever made, to be completely honest. You're gonna want to select these. Like the ones where you're going to extrude it down on the Z again. Extrude them on the Z. Or don't, because it's going to do the faces. So you just do it like this. Then like this. And then like this. Okay, we can now hide the image up here. And we can do this all by eye. Just click 3, go to about there, then select these and just about there. They're about the same now. See, it's already looking like the alloy here. But these bits, these faces here, have to be raised. As you can see, they're kind of raised up. So we're going to select these faces, and because we created this face down here, we can just raise them up, and that's going to give you that effect. Then you can also, if you want, add this here, because you can kind of see it dips down a little bit. Bring that, bring add another loop cut. I know we're worried about tries and all that, but it doesn't really matter. Then bring that down, like so. Then we're going to go into here again. Select these edges here. Extrude them on the Z. Set it back to 3D cursor and scale that in. We're going to get the image up again. 7. Scale that in to about there. Like so. That is looking pretty good. We've kind of got a little dip here, but if you want, you can just do that. Raise it up to make it a bit smoother, and then scale it into the center a bit and just do something like that. It is low poly again, so it's going to have these sharp edges, because if you shade it smooth, then turn auto smooth on, it looks alright, but it kind of, the edges again. You would use this more for, just shade this flat again, for if you're making a game or something like that. Then you just want to select these outer edges again, bring them down, E, S, down, EZ, that was a Discord notification, EZ, and scale them out, bring them up, EZ, and then you've kind of got your wheelbarrow, yes, that's probably what it's called. Hide this, and it's actually got a lip, so you can just go like this, you're going to need to add 2 loop cuts just to bring that down, like this, and then just scale that in, then bring it down, and there's your barrel. Now from the underneath, admittedly, it doesn't look the best, but from the top, you know, you've got a convincing Anki, however you say it. You can just apply your modifiers now. Ring select this, this. In fact, first thing you're going to want to do, select all, go to mesh, clean up, delete loose, that'll remove any of the loose. Select all again, mesh, clean up, merge by distance. So this is going to merge vertices that are close together, defined by this distance here. So you can see it's getting rid of more and more vertices the more that I increase it. So we're just going to leave that 0.0001, and that's probably just going to... Bixby just told me the answer is 0, but thank you. Okay. And that is you merge the vertices that need to be merged. Then you can just ring select this. Bixby, go away. Jeez. Select this inner face thing with Alt click, Shift D, P, selection, which is going to move it to a new mesh. Click it again, go in, and then I like to just press F because it's a circle and it doesn't really need anything. Now if you go from the top, we're going to do cylinder, and then we're going to enable the image again, because we're going to go and just put that right about there. This is where it gets fun. Now you're going to want to go F3, set origin to 3D cursor, Control A, location, rotation, scale. That's going to apply it so that we can do the next thing, which is going to be adding in the empty at the 3D cursor, selecting the whatchamacallit, the lug nut hole, I guess. Not mirror, you're going to want to use array. Turn relative offset off, turn object offset on, select your empty 002, turn it up to 5 copies, select your empty 002, rotate on the Z, was it? Yeah. And then just kind of line them up with the holes where they should be. So more or less that. Bring them, apply the modifier, bring them down like so, so they're going through this bottom bit here. Bring them as down as you want. So long as they're gonna create a hole like that. This circle had no modifiers on it. Then you want to put, I forget, I actually genuinely just forgot. Is it Boolean? Yeah, it's Boolean on the circle. Then you Boolean the cylinders. Click apply. Okay. Now, you're going to want to change this, where we were changing it to 3D cursor. You're going to want to put individual origins, scale them up on the Z axis, and then scale them up, and then click Shift Z so that it doesn't scale them. Kind of like that. Then just select these faces. They indent, which is interesting. So if you want to make them legitimate to the wheel, you can. Just delete these, go into this circle, select these edges here on every single circle. I like to just select each one so that I know that I cover every edge like that. Then deselect them, obviously. Bam, like so. And then final one. I'm clicking Control so that they stay selected for every single one. EZ. We can easily fill in that face, so don't worry about it. Don't save, it's fine. Then we can EZS or not, because it's still on 3D cursor. I said individual origins, then EZ, and just bring that down. Now for these faces, it's pretty simple. Just go like this, press F to create a face. It's not going to be, don't do that. Just select every single one, like that, and then like that. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to work. This is a very basic tutorial. You can get so much more in depth in this, but this is more aimed at a tutorial technically for the wheels for my Mazda tutorial, which was the low poly one. I'm just doing the same thing for every single one of these. Just select the edges, and I'm selecting the top edges even though they seem flat. I'm selecting that top edge so that I know that it's gonna connect with it. Go like this, this, then this, okay, like so. And I mean, technically that's your wheels done. And then obviously if you want, just do this. Don't inset, that's a bad idea. But you can see you've got this little where the cap would go. So if you want, you can do that. But really, just cylinder, scale it down. Bring this top face down because it's obviously where the Anki NK logo would go. I don't know how you say it. Like so. And I know that it kind of looks a bit off proportionate right now when you zoom out, because I'm guessing all of these should not be as big as they are. I can never seem to get these right. So you can just scale them in, bring them down. That looks better. Now for the rendering, make sure all the modifiers are applied, which they are. Select it, rotate it on the make sure you've selected everything. You can press Ctrl J and it'll make them one object. Rotate on the X 90 degrees up, no, 1, sorry. To go front view, go like this. Then what I've done with this camera is I've set up a hotkey for, or a shortcut for walk navigation, which is under view, navigation, walk navigation. I just set it as Shift F so that then I can move the camera around however I want. Get it in a good light, I guess. Like, that is not a good light. Select circle, just create a simple material. Wheel, make it glossy. Like that, make it a bit grey. That's probably too dark actually. Make the roughness a little bit more. Move this camera, not camera, sorry, light, to maybe there. That could work. Shift A, add in a plane to give it a surface so it can be sitting on. Now, one interesting thing you can actually do is you can make this plane a shadow catcher when you're in the Cycles engine. So if we go into Cycles, it renders a lot more realistically in Cycles. That's the main difference. You can make this plane a shadow catcher by going into Object Properties, Visibility, Shadow Catcher. So you can see it's only going to be catching the shadow and not its actual self, if that makes sense. So you can make the world color different by going into, oh, let me see if I can remember this. Shading, world, use nodes, and then it's like, no, hold on. I'll be right back. I need to look this up. Okay, I have input. No, yes, input, light path. Duplicate the background. Go in and get a mix shader. Background into background. And this is a model that I made quite a while ago, so I've just got it here. Is camera ray into, don't know what that means. Is camera ray into here. So now we can make the background whatever color we want, and it's not going to affect the like color of the object. So if we want to make it a lighter, like a kind of a beigey yellow color maybe. See how that looks? Like that, let's say. Looks quite nice. Make the lighting a little bit better. And maybe have 2 lights. That ain't gonna work. Well, that is how you make a wheel. I will put some renders at the end of the video. I'm just gonna add a denoiser in here. I will put some renders at the end of the video. I hope you learned something today. Maybe this tutorial was a bit for people who are a little bit acquainted with Blender, since I didn't really go into all the specifics. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to save your work, Control S, and I will see you all in the next video. I'm starting to upload a bit more now, so yeah, if you enjoy, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And yeah, peace.